Today, I'm going to be attempting to survive 100 days in Bedrock Minecraft Hardcore, exploring the newest update that brings vibrant visuals, all the new copper stuff, and happy ghasts. Without further ado, let's get into it. Day 1. You all know exactly how these worlds start, by looking directly in the sun, burning my eyes. It's like I'm looking directly at the real-life sun. Well, welcome to 100 days in vibrant visuals. I started this world by chopping down a tree for some wood, like you always do, and then using this, I could craft up a pickaxe. I spawned right next to a jungle, and inside, there was a very angry panda waiting there for me. Whoa. I think I'll just let him be. With my wooden pickaxe, I could then go ahead and collect loads of stone and use that to craft up all the stone tools to properly begin my journey in this world. Now, vibrant visuals were added sometime in June, and now almost 4 months later, this is the first time I'm actually playing with it, so it's pretty awesome exploring the world with these new graphics. I found a village off in the distance, and it had a blacksmith. However, before looting that, I turned the day counter and coordinates off because I didn't really like it. It was taking up a lot of my screen. Inside, I got an iron sword, some gold, 2 iron pickaxes, and some other loot, which was pretty nice. And now I could spend some time going around looting the village, getting everything that I would really need, like food and iron. Apart from that, I ran around until it started to turn nighttime, so I jumped on top of a tree to watch the sun set. The goal for the first few days was to find a decent location to call my home. So I could either be running for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Nah, it won't take that long. I was looking for a cool area with cool mountains, and I did eventually come across this mountain, so that is an option. However, I was going to continue running around a little further. Oh, snap. Wait, hold on a minute. Now we're talking. Are we in between like 3 big mountains? Yo, this could be good. I did also find this village, which I could call home for the night, and I was also considering setting up base here, but I did want some flat land to work with, so it would be easier to build later, so this is where I ended up choosing to set my camp instead for the next 100 days. Here, I could get a chest to empty out my inventory, and I also made some farms. I think it's time that I go mining. You heard the man. Today, I go mining. Entering into these caves, I noticed one thing. Water is basically invisible. That could definitely get interesting. Wait, hold on a minute. Ow. Now, I was originally going to just go mining for iron armor and tools. However, instead, I remembered that on Bedrock Edition, there is new copper and armor tools. Mojang, when are you adding this to Java Edition? So, after collecting some copper and coal, I could return back to smelt everything. And using the copper ingots, I could craft up full copper armor as well as a shield too. I think I'll just ignore the copper tools for now. I can just get iron ones instead that is significantly better. On top of all that, I noticed a village next to this area. However, it was no ordinary village. This was an abandoned one. Arguably significantly worse, yes, I know. But, I mean, hey, it was a cool find regardless, I guess. Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, let's go to sleep. I'm tired. Ladies and gentlemen, the POV that you are currently watching is Blue Minecraft, and he's just about to go up against a skeleton with full copper armor. Who will win?
Fight!
Not sure what that was all about. But today, I'm also going mining once again, but this time to upgrade from the copper to the iron. I should have just gone for the iron. Nah, well. This cave had a crazy amount of iron, so I could easily go around collecting every last bit of iron that I would possibly need. And after quite some time, I had collected a whole stack of raw iron, which is exactly when I decided to go back home. But little did I know, there was going to be a small little problem with getting home. Oh my gosh. Oh, go away. Oh, well, I have to fill this hole in now. I can't just leave an empty creeper hole down here. Oh my gosh, why? No, not another. On day 5, I was going to discover something horrible, but more on that later. As I waited for my iron to cook up in the furnaces, I was going to go around exploring for a little bit and see what cool things were around my base area. There was another village with a blacksmith, so I could loot that, but honestly, nothing really good came from that chest. Instead, I found a wandering trader. This is where the horrible discovery I mentioned earlier comes into play. What? Why does dye look like that? that? Oh, hell no. What the heck? When did they change the dye textures? Why did they change the dye textures? Too many questions, not enough answers. It was time for me to go back home. Here, I could craft up full iron armor, as well as some iron tools, and go to bed. I needed lots of wool. I was going to build up my very first base soon, but to do that, I would need lots of wool. So much, in fact, the entirety of day 6 was spent collecting this wool, and it was still not enough. But that's all good, because I could still get to work beginning to build up my tent. This was going to be quite a basic build since it is my first base, and all I needed to do was to place down loads of wool. When I would run out, I would simply go running around collecting even more white wool, and then I could go back and finish the tent. There we go. I wonder if I could turn that into a storage room. All right, let's get a quick day counter up. We're up to day 8, technically day 9 since, you know, we started on day 0. With that cave that I just saw, I was going to make a storage room, but since it was kind of a pain to get to and from the cave, I was going to collect loads of wood from a nearby forest in order to make some staircases using slabs. I also made one going up to the tent since it would just make traversing the land a whole lot easier. That's about it for these staircases. With the easy access to the cave, I could now set up a storage room. This was going to be pretty basic. All I had to do was mine out the room a little bit just to make it look a little nicer. What is the term for this task? I know changing land is called terraforming. Is it the same for this? I don't know, maybe. Sometime later, I crafted up loads of chests to put into the new storage room, as well as some furnaces, and that was it for today. I could then spend day 10 doing a whole lot of moving. Yep, moving my previous storage into the new one. Obviously making sure everything was properly sorted into different categories. I can't have a storage room without it all being sorted. And since I had time left on this day, I went running around, bringing animals back to my base so I could start making some animal farms. They would be left in the ground for now though. You guys aren't getting luxurious homes just yet. Now, I do want to go to the Nether to start speedrunning the game soon. However, before I do that, I wanted to get full diamond armor just so I could stay a little more protected. So off I went to the caves mining up diamonds. And if there was one thing I learned from all the previous Bedrock videos that I've made, that is diamonds are significantly harder to obtain in Bedrock Edition. Way harder, in fact, that after a whole day of mining and looking for diamonds, I had only collected 9 in total. Though, I did find something else. Oh, a skeleton spawner? That was cool. I could loot the chest, but apart from that, all I had to do was continue mining until I had enough diamonds for full diamond armor and tools, which again would take such a long time because a quarter of our way through day 12, I was still yet to find another diamond vein. Diamonds must be so rare because not too long later, I found something else. Whoa, is this another spawner? What? Oh my gosh. Another name tag. 2 skeleton spawners before another vein of diamonds is absolutely diabolical. It's also insane that on this day, I only got 1 more diamond. I'm not even joking. I collected some more diamonds on day 13, and this is also the day that I realized with these vibrant visuals, if you're in a dark cave, the XP orbs look like tiny suns. They are so bright compared to everything else. I collected a few more diamonds, then I discovered something else. Is that another mob spawner? No way, dude. Wait, where is it? What the heck? What the heck? Is the mob spawner supposed to be in here? What? What happened here? Wait, actually, no, come over here, creeper. Blow this area up. Wow. Okay, I guess that's just like completely disappeared. What is going on there too? Dude, bug rock might be real. At least we have diamonds up here. Day 14, I went from 21 to 27 diamonds, which is when I crafted up a diamond pickaxe so I could then collect obsidian for an enchant table and a nether portal later. And finally, day 15, the day that you've all been waiting for, the final mining day. Today, I was going to collect all the rest of the diamonds that I would need, going around all these caves. One good thing about this extra long mining trip, though, is the amount of creepers that were in these caves. It was so easy to get gunpowder for when I would need fireworks with the elytra later. Today, I mined all the way up to 36 diamonds. Not to mention, I had already used 3 on the pickaxe, so technically we have 39 in total. I also found another mob spawner. That makes a total of 3 mob spawners found during this mining trip. That is crazy. And now, I could make my way back home, collecting a few diamonds on the way back home as well, putting the total to 40. Home sweet home. It feels so good to finally be back home. So this might be the only problem with owning a tent. Get uninvited guests. But that doesn't even matter because I get full diamond armor today. Yes! I could also get the tools as well as an enchant table, and then I could enchant everything. Although it wasn't level 30 enchant, it is still better than nothing, I guess. I also built up the nether portal, and as you probably could have guessed, the spawn was trash. Look at this. I'm completely closed up. Although I am now in the nether, I wasn't going to do anything here just yet. I'll return back in a few days, don't worry. But for now, I still had a few tasks that I wanted to complete in the overworld, including improving the staircase to the new storage room, adding some signs to the chest so I could easily identify which chest is which, moving animals into new homes, and on day 18, after listening to the other side disc for a while, I was again going to return back to the nether, but not for long. I was here to collect some quartz and glowstone so I could craft up daylight sensors. Since Vibrant Visuals adds some really cool lighting to this version of the game, I wanted to take advantage of that and add some cool street lights that turn on during the night. I thought that would be a pretty cool addition. Day 19, I went mining for more redstone to add more street lights, or automatic lamp thingos, whatever you want to call them, to my base area, because during these 100 days, I wanted this area to turn into something absolutely amazing. I wanted this base to be the coolest base I have ever had in any of my videos. So a lot of small details will be necessary. Now, I think it might actually be time to head off to the nether. We've been putting it off for a while now, so it's time. We need to get ender pearls and blaze rods so we can speedrun beating the game and get our hands on the elytra. But let me tell you something. This nether trip was not going to be easy. First, I found myself in a bastion, so I went straight inside, and nothing could possibly go wrong, right? Ain't no way. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm alive. I looted a chest that had nothing inside, so I just left in order to continue my search looking for the nether fortress. There was only one problem, the fog. I can't see more than like 2 meters in front of me, and I'm also pretty dumb. Anyways, not too long later, I found the nether fortress. Entering inside, I was instantly ambushed by like 1 trillion mobs, and maybe I should be a little more careful too. The wither skeleton skull was cool though, but we might die. Hold on. Don't die. Don't die. Woo! Yes, we actually got a skull. That's insane. Apart from that, I could go around collecting blaze rods. And after obtaining all the blaze rods I would need, I decided I was not going to be leaving this fortress anytime soon. Since I already had 1 skull, I had to get the other 2. It's basically a requirement. Also, since I can't be bothered cutting up all this footage, I got the 2nd skull on day 22. Oh, we got another. Oh, don't shoot at me. I was about to leave if that one didn't drop it. That's actually insane. And despite defeating many wither skeletons on day 23, I didn't get anything on that day. But on day 24, I got the final skull. Yes, finally, the last skull. Now, I can leave the nether, right? No. I now had to go find a warped forest biome or loads of gold to trade with piglins so I can get the ender pearls needed to go to the end. Fortunately for me, today, I was going to find a bastion. And it was one of the bastions with loads of gold in the middle. So after cooking loads of food, it was time to go inside. After fighting off many piglins, it was time to go and collect the gold blocks. I could also loot the chest in the middle, getting my hands on a netherite upgrade template. Unfortunately, there weren't as many gold blocks as I would have liked, but hey, it's still better than nothing. Now, I could just go and trade with piglins and get loads of ender pearls. Making my way home on day 26, I went to cook up some food and actually managed to find some ancient debris. That was pretty crazy, but now I was officially back home. I went to the nether to get ender pearls, blaze rods, and ended up leaving with ender pearls, all the blaze rods, 3 wither skeleton skulls, a netherite upgrade template, and a new music disc to listen to. Wow. Oh. Yo! This is kind of a banger. Honestly, pretty solid music disc. I also needed some new armor, so I went ahead and got that. I also had to use some torches to light up the caves too, since mobs were spawning back here. That was about it for this day though. And day 28 would be the final day of preparation before going to the end. I wanted more food, so I was hoping that I could find a village to get my hands on free hay bales. However, that was unsuccessful. So I just ended up turning animals into food instead. Finally ready to locate the stronghold. All I needed to do was throw a load of ender eyes until it would finally turn around, and that's when I knew I was basically right above the stronghold. So I could just dig straight down into the stronghold, right? Nope. I found a trial chamber instead. Crazy. Now, this was really good though, because I needed loads of these oxidized copper blocks for a build that I wanted to do later, so I just spent the rest of the day collecting these blocks. Finally, finding the stronghold on day 30. Inside, I could loot the library, getting some decent enchantment books, but there was really only one problem. My inventory was completely full. I really need some shulker boxes soon. Good thing we're about to go to the end. Putting my eyes inside the portal, it was now time to defeat the Ender Dragon. 30 days played already, and one mistake could mean all the progress was for nothing. The first goal was to shoot out all the crystals, and then watch out for when the dragon would fly directly towards me. It would do this every time it stopped perching. The crystal inside the iron bars would turn out to be quite the problem. I would have to pillar straight up, hoping the dragon wouldn't knock me down. Now, there was one final crystal to go. Covered in iron bars, but just like that, all the crystals were gone. The dragon shot at me, so I jumped off, water bucket clutching. And now all I had to do was defeat this dragon. Taking many shots with my bow and many hits with my sword later, the dragon's health was getting extremely low. Come at me, dragon. As soon as you stop perching and come towards me, you're dead. I dare you to come after me right now. Stop perching, bro. Yep, that's what I thought. It's over. Oh my, wait, hold on. That did way more damage than I thought, but we have just done it. Just like that, I have defeated the Ender Dragon in Bedrock Minecraft Hardcore with vibrant visuals. Now, I could collect all the XP and the dragon egg, and there was only really one thing left to do, and that was getting my hands on both shulkers and elytras. So off I went to the Outer End Islands. About halfway through day 31, I found my first end city off in the distance, which unfortunately didn't have an end ship. Bridging over the void and loads of running later, I was unable to find another end city on this day, unfortunately. However, day 32 was different. I was collecting loads of endstone until my pickaxe broke, which is when I noticed another end city off in the distance. This one, fortunately, had an end ship, meaning I could get an elytra. To save time, I just pillared straight up to the ship, fought shulkers, crafted a shulker box to clear out my inventory, but most importantly, I could get my hands on the elytra. And I came prepared, bringing loads of gunpowder for firework rockets. There was only one thing left for me to do now. I was going to fly around and get as many elytras as I could get my hands on with the amount of rockets I had. Ending day 32 off with a total of 5 elytras. I looted a few more end cities on day 33 until I finally decided to go back home. This was a very successful end trip. And now, I could sort my inventory out into my storage room. Since I also had loads of books from the library from the other day, I went ahead and collected loads of wood to craft up some bookshelves to get a level 30 enchant table as well. It was time to make a better base. I ain't living in that damn tent any longer. Only problem, I needed to go out and begin collecting materials for this house build. And there was going to be a wide variety of different blocks that I needed to collect, so it was probably going to take me a while. I've already ticked off one of the materials, the oxidized copper blocks, but now I need some mud, coarse dirt, and loads of spruce wood. Since I was so far away from my base, I did spend the entirety of day 35 returning back home, just so I could go off to the nether in order to collect warp stems. The blue nether wood block thingo. Yeah. Finally, the last material I needed to collect was some tuff, and now that I had collected everything, I could begin building up my house. The main house of these 100 days. I'm not going to build another house, right? No, I'm not. I was not hinting towards anything there. I am not going to build another house. These things take way too long. This house build was going to take me a total of 8 days to complete. I already knew what I was doing since I had already built this house in a separate creative world on Java Edition, so it was really only a matter of looking at the screenshots and copying the builds over to the Bedrock worlds. There was one point where I had to go flying around looking for a dark oak biome to collect dark oak wood because I was going to use that block for the pillars of my house, or whatever you want to call it. And when building this, I did notice one thing, and that was with these vibrant visuals, all the wood blocks kind of blend together, if you know what I'm talking about. Like the dark oak wood and the spruce wood look very similar. But apart from that, I continued building up the walls until it was finally time for me to work on the roof. This is why I needed the oxidized copper blocks. I was going to make a gradient out of the warped wood and gradually turn that into the oxidized copper blocks. With the roof pretty much complete, I still wasn't wasn't finished with this house build because I was going to add a tower to it. Just to, you know, make the whole thing a whole lot more complicated. And this was also going to take me a while to complete too. I think having this extra tower definitely dragged out the building process quite a bit. But a few more details here and there, and my house was finally complete. 8 days in the making. It does look pretty decent in my opinion though. Let me know what you think. Following that massive amount of building, I decided to do some chilled, laid-back tasks. Starting with adding an actual proper roof inside my house. I don't usually do interiors for my houses, so adding a roof was pretty groundbreaking for me. On top of that, later on in these 100 days, I will also be doing a full interior build for this house, so stick around for that, I guess. For the rest of the day, I went around terraforming the land a bit, with the goal of actually making this area look a whole lot nicer. And now, it was time to completely switch up the vibe of tasks. I was going to return back to the Nether, but this time with one goal in mind: collect ancient debris. I wanted netherite armor and tools, and since I don't want to collect wool for beds or sand and gunpowder for TNT, I went straight into the Nether and mined up loads of netherrack at Y level 14 or whatever using my pickaxe. This was probably going to be the most efficient method for me at the time. On this day, I managed to collect a total of 5 ancient debris. Let's be real here for a moment. That luck is terrible. But day 49, I continued mining until I had a total of 12 ancient debris, which is when I returned back home to smelt it all. Now, I only had one problem here. I needed netherite ingots, not the scraps. And to get the netherite ingots, I would need gold. And believe it or not, I don't have any gold. So, off to the netherite returned once again, this time mining up all those gold ore veins. And now, with my netherite ingots, I instantly upgraded my diamond pickaxe netherite, which really wasn't probably the smartest idea considering it only had efficiency 3, but oh well. I also had like 3 quadrillion dried gas from the nether trip earlier, and at the time, I also hadn't seen anything about the happy casts. So I thought now was probably going to be the best time to see what these guys can do. Let's see, what are these guys all about? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a big problem. And no, it's not the fact that you haven't subscribed yet. Yeah, I'm talking about you, James. Why are you not subscribed? Okay, that was cringe. I'm sorry. My problem is the fact that I have so many elytras that are all pretty much broken. The only way I was going to be able to change that is by getting myself mending books. I flew over to the nearest village and used a lectern, breaking it every single time until I saw the mending trade, which, believe it or not, would take me ages to obtain, pretty much the whole day. Now, on top of that, I was also missing a few emeralds before I could actually buy the books. So I crafted up a fletching table and traded loads of sticks for emeralds, which allowed me to purchase some mending books. With those, I could craft up an anvil and add them to a few elytras. Now, all I had to do was go around to the nether, mining up everything like nether quartz that drops good XP to repair the elytras. Boom! I'll be doing the wither fight soon, but first, I had a few random tasks that I wanted to do, starting off with getting even more emeralds. With those emeralds, I could buy another mending book. I also placed a few random nature blocks around the place just to add some more details to my base area. I really wanted to see how cool the firefly bushes could look with these vibrant visuals. And finally, for the rest of the day, I added a few pathways. You know, just again for the extra details. Okay, I was looking through all my footage. I genuinely have no idea when I crafted that stack of golden carrots. Oh well. Since I'm going to do the wither fight tomorrow, I had a couple of preparations that I was going to do. I was obviously going to need a better bow, so I got that. I also put that mending book on my helmet, repaired it in the nether, got some golden apples, blah, blah, blah. Preparations were now done. So I could officially fight the wither. Nothing could possibly go wrong here, right? Well, let's find out. I flew over to a random empty bit of land where I could then go ahead and spawn the wither. Oh, hold on one second. There we go. It was time to be insanely careful. Any wrong moves, and these 100 days would be over in the blink of an eye. And it was going to be especially difficult because, yeah, Bedrock Edition. The Wither on Bedrock Edition. It's something else. Bedrock Edition withers are way harder than Java Edition. It even spawns wither skeletons. Like, what? The most important thing here was the milk buckets. As soon as the wither would give me the wither effect, I would drink the milk, removing the effects. But let's continue defeating this wither. Oh no! Oh, we are so low. Woo! We're safe. All right, come on. Let's continue hitting this wither. It's getting really close now. And just like that, I had beaten the wither. Now I can get the nether star. Wait, where is the star? Yeah, so basically, the nether star fell down into that lava pool right there. Awesome. That's just great. No beacon for me until later when I fight the second wither. I really wanted a beacon, so later on we're going to fight the wither a second time. The wither did break a lot of the ground, so there was plenty of spare dirt all over the ground, which is great because now if I ever wanted to do loads of terraforming, I'll have plenty of blocks for that. Now, following that pretty chaotic day, I returned back to the village that had the mending villager trade, and I gave the Fletcher villager a whole lot of sticks for emeralds. Just a whole lot of trading on this day. It was a pretty chill day and pretty boring too, but tomorrow, something awesome was going to happen. Happy Ghast, yeah! This was so cool. Though, I may have got a bit too many. Flying around on these Happy Ghasts are very slow, but, you know, putting that aside, it was still pretty awesome. Will I ever use the Happy Ghast in Minecraft normally? Let's be real, probably not. Anyways, back to important stuff. I wanted to get full netherite armor and tools now. So off to the nether I went, mining up loads of netherrack with my pickaxe in search for that ancient debris. I had so many tools and pieces of armor to upgrade to netherite, so I was going to have to spend a decent amount of time here in the nether. Continuing my mining into day 59, I was going to finish this day off with a total of 24 ancient debris. With that, I could return back home and start smelting it all up. Now, I wasn't done with the nether quite yet though, because obviously I still needed more gold. So I collected gold in the nether. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, for some reason, despite getting all those netherite ingots, I didn't actually use them. I don't actually know why. Instead, I went ahead and started mining a giant staircase down with the end goal of reaching the diamond Y level. Continuing this into day 61 by adding some staircases and then mining down even further, this was a very repetitive task. However, eventually I did make it to the bottom. I was just about to use this brand new strip mine to try and get some diamonds, but first, I wanted to quickly repair my pickaxe. This wasn't completely necessary. However, I was unsure how long I would be mining for, so I wanted to be a little bit extra careful. Afterwards, I returned back down into the mines and began strip mining, finding my first diamonds pretty quickly, but that was going to be the only diamonds I would find today. Oh, I now remember why I didn't use those netherite ingots. I needed diamonds to duplicate the netherite upgrade templates. It makes so much sense now. And well, today was going to be a very successful diamond mining session. I decided to give up on the whole strip mining idea. Instead, I went around the caves, mining up every single diamond ore that I could find. Loads of them. Ending this session off with a total of 54 diamonds. With those diamonds, I could return to my storage room, enchant a few tools, and then I proceeded to upgrade everything. Oh my gosh, look at us. We're crazy rich right now. Full netherite armor, full netherite tools. We're going absolutely crazy. We're only like 64 days in. And well, for the rest of the day, I just went around chopping loads of trees for wood so I could get sticks so I could trade with Fletcher villagers for more emeralds. I continued this trading into day 65 until I was able to buy another mending book. And now, after adding the mending book to my netherite shovel, I had an idea. I wanted to move my Happy Ghasts further away from the base area because it was kind of annoying listening to them, I'm not gonna lie. This took an embarrassingly long amount of time to move them. Yeah. I also needed some more leads so I can move every single one of them, so I flew over to a nearby swamp and waited for it to turn nighttime so I could get some slime balls from the slimes. It was also on this night that I noticed something. Oh, I one-tap them? Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh, what about zombies? What about zombies? Come on. Oh my gosh, one-tapping it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh! Do swords do more damage in Bedrock than Java Edition, or am I crazy? It was on the following day that I found out you no longer needed slime balls for leads. Since when? Yeah, anyways, I just moved more Happy Ghasts today, also trapping one on top of my base since I thought that could look cool, and it was now almost time to fight the second wither, to, you know, get that beacon. But first, I still needed to work on my base area. Horse. Oh, first try. All right, please be good. Oh, he is fast. Damn. Remember what I said earlier? I wanted this base to be the coolest base I have ever had in any of my videos. Well, we're quite far off reaching that goal right now. So I was going to spend some time working on this base area. Today, I was going to start working on a river since I thought that could look cool. I started with a pond and then I used my shovel to dig out all the river shapes, continuing that into day 68. Where once I was pretty happy with this river shape and the way that it looked, I moved on to adding some pathways and all those smaller details. Continuing that and adding some extra details into day 69, and day 70 was also spent just adding a bunch of smaller details. But this day was also not going to be as smooth as I would have hoped. No! Dude, those damn creepers giving me extra work. And by day 71, things were starting to look really cool around here. Too bad I don't have footage to show what I did. I forgot to start recording. But here's past me to explain exactly what I did. All right, well, I did some farming, added trapdoors. I farmed. What else did I do? That's kind of it. Oh, and I also got pigs. I think that was some pretty good building progress. But now it's time to lock back in because it's time to get a beacon. A beacon involves two parts. First, the beacon itself, and then you also need all the ore blocks to power the beacon. And today, I was going to go around collecting as much gold as I could find. Continuing that into day 73, until I actually found a bastion. Bastions is so good because there are loads of gold blocks to collect that will save me loads of time. So now that I've collected some gold that can go towards powering the beacon, I actually need to collect 3 wither skeleton skulls to fight the second wither. I got the first skull today. Yes. Oh, hell no. No, you ain't taking that, bro. Give me that skull. Oh, crap. I got the second skull on day 74. Yes, there's the second one. Finally ending this session off by getting the third on day 75, which meant I could return back home. This time, we're not messing around. There is literally no way we don't get the beacon this time. Today, I was going to do some basic preparations. I gathered some food from a nearby village, and then I went over to the area that I would be fighting the wither again. I used my water bucket to get rid of that lava because I'm not letting that nether star fall in the lava pool again. I also had to go to the nether to collect some soul sand so I could actually spawn the wither tomorrow, but now it's time. I started flying towards the area once again where I was going to fight the second wither, and now it was officially time to get my hands on that nether star. Let's just quickly place all the soul sand as well as the 3 wither skeleton skulls. This is it. 77 days and it could be over in an instant. Bring it on. Oh, I've already got the wither effect. Oh, gosh. Might not sound like I'm too interested in this wither fight right now. That is probably because I was more so focused on actually surviving. Where did he go? What the heck? Oh my gosh, my frames, man! And just like that, I had defeated a second wither in my Minecraft world, so I could return back home with my last firework rocket and craft the beacon up. I also had some iron and other ores laying around, so I could make a start towards getting the max-powered beacon, but unfortunately, we're not even very close. And before I would even make an attempt to try and get the max-level beacon, I wanted to make a tree. Yeah. I don't really know why, but I was going to need loads of wood for this, so I spent quite a while chopping down trees. With that wood, I could go and build the main part of this tree up, like the trunk and its branches. This has got to be one of the most random ideas I've ever had. I just thought having a giant tree in this area could look pretty cool, but with that main part down, all I needed was some leaves. So off to a nearby forest I went, collecting many leaves, placing them all on day 80, and there we go. The tree was done. It looks all right, I guess. Probably not the greatest way to spend 3 whole Minecraft days, but oh well. Today, I was going to trade more sticks for emeralds. I also wanted to try get another fletching villager because the amount of sticks that I was trading was so high, the villagers weren't even replenishing their stocks in time. That was kind of easier said than done. None of these guys wanted a job, which You know what? Fair enough. But in the end, I got more emeralds so I could buy another mending book. I wanted to get mending for pretty much everything in my inventory. That includes both the armor and tools. So I did continue to trade with these villagers into day 82, where I could buy a second mending book. And with these 2 books, I would put it on my sword and axe. I then proceeded to return to the nether to start repairing these tools. I didn't really want to spend multiple days here, so once I was pretty satisfied with the new durability levels of these tools, I just ended up going back home. So what was I going to do now? It rhymes with paid. I enchanted a brand new bow with my level 30 enchant table. Holy, what a crazy bow. And then I could make my way over to a village. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to do a raid. I could drink my ominous bottle and all I had to do now was just wait. Eventually, the raid had started and this was really underwhelming. I was kind of like 2 stacks for this raid now. It was so damn easy. Okay, maybe the Vindicators still do a little bit of damage to me, but not too long later, I had gotten my first totem. So not only was I overpowered with my armor, I was now literally invincible. It was also turning nighttime and I decided to sleep so I wouldn't have to deal with any of the other mobs, but I continued the raid into day 84, getting a few more totems before successfully beating the raid, ending this off with a total of 5 totems. That's pretty good. I also had to take advantage of the hero of the village effect. I went over to my mending villager to get cheaper mending book trades and I just chucked those books straight onto more of my elytras. This is when I made a groundbreaking discovery. I can put bundles inside of bundles. But can I put bundles inside of bundles inside of bundles? I need to answer that question. That is an important question. Hold on. Oh, I can. But what about a bundle inside a bundle inside a bundle inside? Wait. Oh, wait, it worked. I've got a bundle inside of a bundle inside of a bundle inside of a bundle. But what about a bundle inside of a bundle inside of a bundle? I think you get the point. This update has also brought something pretty big to the game. The Copper Golem. This is just another feature that I probably won't be using. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is still fairly cool regardless. A few days ago, I noticed the rivers and the ponds that I made around my base only really looked good during the day, and I wanted to change that, and I was going to do that by getting some glowstone from the nether to light the areas up. Ah yes, it looks way better now. On day 86, I was going to do something that I have never done before. Okay, maybe like once, but I don't remember the last time I did something like this. Point is, this was groundbreaking. I'm building a house interior. Yep, there are people out there on YouTube building things like crazy automatic farms, insane mansions, and then there's just me building a simple house interior, calling that insanely groundbreaking. I mean, at least it looks pretty good, right? Right? I haven't forgotten about the max beacon level just yet. In hindsight, I probably should have forgotten about it after looking at how long it took me to gather everything. With my fortune pickaxe, I thought going around the mines collecting loads of ores like iron would allow me to get everything fairly quickly. But I was in these mines for a long time. I was in there through day 87 to 89. And on top of that, I still hadn't obtained all the ores that I would need to get enough blocks for that max beacon. It was definitely a good dent and a good amount of progress towards getting it though, but I didn't want to mine any longer. I was sick of it. So for the millionth time in this video, I went to the nether, lying around looking for those lovely bastions. I was looking for these structures so I could mine up loads of gold blocks. This again was going to take me a couple of days, going through day 90 to 91. I really wish I knew the speedrunner strats, since somehow they know where every single gold block location is. That would have definitely sped this up a whole lot, but finally, I had collected everything needed to max out power this beacon. It only took me like 5 days or something. The maxed out beacon. Let's go. The goal for day 92 was to make a decent looking entrance to that strip mine staircase that I made earlier. Obviously, I had loads of dirt to work with because of those wither fights earlier, so the materials weren't going to be a problem for me. I just needed to work out the design and just work from there. I got this main structure complete on day 92, and day 93 was the day I used stone to line the interior of this entrance to, you know, make it look like an actual cave. I also added some smaller details, but Boom! This was my new mine entrance. With that mine entrance complete, this day was going to be kind of another time waster day, but at the same time, not really. I needed to repair my elytras to prepare for a very long exploration session tomorrow. I was going to do something extremely important, so I needed this durability. Ladies and gentlemen, lock in for a moment. This might be the most important moments of these 100 days. There is one feature a part of this update that I am yet to explore. See what I mean? I need to somehow find a chicken jockey because defeating one of those is the only way of actually obtaining that music disc. A little while ago when I did YouTube live streaming, somebody mentioned that you can find the chicken jockey in a mansion. So I wanted to go exploring for a mansion. But following that up, am I even able to find a chicken jockey? Unfortunately, I was not able to find it. So I can't get the disc. Oh my gosh, video ruined. I also did a bit of fishing. I didn't really catch anything crazy though. It was kind of just fish. And I also don't know why I spent an entire day fishing. I added a few trees around the place. I made the pathways look even better, which leads us on to day 99. Today, I had one goal in mind, and it was a pretty simple goal. I wanted to get a cake to celebrate these 100 days. On top of that, I can just chuck all my armor onto this armor stand. Wait, armor stands can hold items in Bedrock? Okay, that's kind of crazy. Let's take one final look at everything I did. I got a ton of happy ghast, made this cool looking area, got a beacon, made this cool looking house. Let's go to sleep. One final time. Thanks for watching. Consider dropping a like, subscribing. We're trying to hit 400,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.